with a roster that may or may not be capable of meeting the expectations, that's going to be a tough deal.
How hard is it for the Pac-10, 12, whatever you want to call it, schools that left behind, not to get into LA every year like they did? I mean, that was so important.
It's a hit. I mean, they're trying to act like it's not and act like they're going to have a big presence in Southern California. This snafu with San Diego State's another nightmare. You pick the reason, but San Diego State had to have been thinking they were going to the Pac-12. Had to have been given some measure of assurances, and then there's an about face, whether that's a television situation, whether it's an accounting error because of the problems with they owe that money back to Comcast now, right? So all these schools, we saw Washington State go on a hiring freeze and only essential travel, and I mean, so budgets are being impacted. So it's a question, and I hope like heck. I'm a Pac-10, Pac-12 guy. I hope like heck they survive and thrive, but right now it's lip service as to the optimism side of things.
So Rick, we have the Rose Bowl playing right behind you. Obviously that was the last game Penn State played, and definitely ended the season on a high note. So this year, obviously.
I was there.
Yeah,
I got to go to that game.
That's at your old stadium.
It's nostalgic for me to get to go to that game. Yes,
it's awesome. So yeah, obviously the big question is Penn State obviously has a lot back from last year's team. Won 11 games, finished in the top 10. But the question looming is, can they beat Ohio State? Can they beat Michigan? Those were who they lost to last year. What are, I guess, your expectations for them coming into the season, and can they get over that hump of Ohio State and Michigan?
I don't think Sean Clifford got nearly enough credit for the stabilizing factor, because there were games where Sean didn't play great, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was a stabilizer in that offense. A lot is made of Drew Aller's potential, but until he does it, against one of those big boys, it's just that, it's potential. So to make comments about Penn State, certainly they've got great players. That Carter kid on defense is a star, and I know they've got a ton. The running back situation has been solidified. They, I think, went from 118 yards rushing one season to 170 last year, which was a huge leap in the right direction. That will help Aller if they've got a running game. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, can you beat Ohio State and beat Michigan?
Right.
And in those games, they were kind of one-sided with respect to the old boys on the Big Ten block, right?
Yep.
Kind of holding court. And it'll be up to James and his staff and certainly that team to correct that.
Do you think they will correct it?
I can't make a prognostication because I got to watch Aller a little bit more before I can jump on the deal. And I also got to watch McCord. I don't know what McCord looks like, right? I'm very comfortable saying Ohio State was great with C.J. Stroud. I don't know what Kyle McCord looks like.
Yeah, so I asked Gary Danielson the same question. Obviously, most of what people have seen from Drew Aller is what he did back in high school, obviously a way different level. That's how he became a 5-star last year.
Right.
Not too many reps, and most of the reps were in garbage time after Clifford was pulled. So from whatever you've seen from him, what have been your takeaways of what his potential is and what he can do?
He's a big, great-looking athlete. I want to see him, and like you said, most of the time that I would have had my eyes on him was kind of mop-up time.
Right.
So I need to see him in real action game situations that are requiring, that blood and guts type of performance where you're going to find a way to win. That's ultimately what is the demarcation of a quarterback that's going to be a champion quarterback and a quarterback that's, just going to look good in the program. I mean, you got to have a way to figure out a way to win, and until we see him under those situations, we're not going to know.
One of the trends in college football seems to be happening among head coaches lately is guys talking about giving up play calling,